Hey guys, and welcome back. Illusion here with you again, like always, back for another episode of the DNS Tech Pack. So, I made a few episodes, 43 and 44, and obviously it didn't go over too well. And I finally figured out what the problem was, and that was something falling off my desk and yanked the cord out of the back of my Blue Snowball microphone, just enough for the computer not to pick it up anymore, but the red LED indicator light was still on, showing me that it was working, so I didn't know it was not working. And by the time the videos went up, I was already gone to Missouri, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it until I got back in town. So I'm going to do a 43-44 recap, and I kind of just show you what I do those two videos and kind of talk you through it, since I've already pulled those videos down since they kind of sucked. So in 43, well, before 43, we set up these MFR lasers to start pulling up more of like a passive ore generation and yank some ores in. And I spent a little bit of time researching it, and I couldn't really have a good system to basically process all the ores coming in. But I did notice almost everything I was pulling up had a crusher processing recipe. So in 43, we built the immersive engineering crusher, and what I've done is I used a little bit of retrievers and servos, that anything I don't want processed, and like for instance, like draconium is going through the rotary craft, redstone is going, we already have a mechanism system for that in lapis, gold is going through the rotary crafting, things like that, and goldstone doesn't need to be processed. So anything like that will come here for the train to be picked up and taken over to the network. Everything else is free, and it's dropped down here and is processed. There are a lot of items using the rescue retriever, so I can use the or metadata, wiki, or dictionary, everything to start doing some of these mineral orders. Okay, that's got 1,300, 6,300. Okay, 56%. All right, and in episode 44, we were diving into matter overdrive. More specifically, I've talked about before, I wanted to be able to autocraft nether stars. So 44 was dedicated to nothing but matter overdrive. Now the documentation's not great on matter overdrive. That was quite a bit of trial and error, which there was a lot of cuts in 44, and for those of you who did see it or did watch it all the way through, you can see all the cuts, but I'll kind of walk you through it kind of step by step. So the first piece that you need in to get into matter overdrive is this molecular inscriber, and what it can do is it takes pieces and parts. Right here is the MK1, which is just nothing but glass, iron, and redstone, and then you can put it in here to make the MK2, which is just add one of those MK1s and a gold ingot, an MK3, which is an MK2 and a diamond, and an MK4, which is MK3 and an emerald. So I have just an interface stuck on there and a import bus to yank it back out when it's done. That's what you need to make all the circuits to make everything in matter overdrive. So when you start getting into the replication of objects, it's very similar to IC2. And I don't want to say copy, but it does have an IC2 feel to it. So let's walk you through the process. So we have a matter decomposer, and what I have is granite going in there. And the reason I chose granite is because it has a pretty high matter value. Like compared to stone, stone is 1, but granite is 7. So you can see how some of this stuff used. Like, so that has a matter of 30, but granite's one of those things that I have a lot of, and andesite only has 3, so you can see the granite was an easy choice. Even it's got a better value than gravel. So I kind of look like for junk materials, and then dirt's only got 1. So look for the junk materials to just kind of go ahead and burn up. And what it does, so I have it exporting through here, and they're decomposing. The decomposers send down through this matter transport pipe down into the replicator. Now before we get to the replicator, we have to go through a little bit of a process. So same thing like in IC2, you have the scanner from IC2, you have matter analyzer. So you put objects in here, it scans it, breaks it down, and ultimately destroys it. So what I put in there is I put in 5 nether stars. So over here, this pattern storage, this is where you can store up to 6 different recipes. And you can see I have 100% chance of nether star. So each object you put in there, it bumps it up by 20%. So you need 5 to get to 100%. Now my understanding, again, documentation is not fabulous on this, but my understanding is that the 100%, so that means every time you request another star, you have 100% chance of getting it. Now if you only scanned 4 and we're up at 80%, that means you had an 80% chance of getting it. Now I could be wrong, but that was my understanding of the documentation. So speaking of requesting things, we have a pattern monitor. And this is why you're able to see what you have in your network to request and the actually doing of the requesting. So that, through this network cable, goes over here into the actual replicator, where you can see I have nether stars queued up. So it takes that plasma that's been made from the decomposers, bunch of power, and then poof, out comes the nether stars. You can see great particle effects, a little bit of sound going on, really cool. And you can see this is filling back up from the decomposers up on the top level. I also have some titanium plates, and I believe this acts as kind of like shielding, because this can have some negative debuffs like weakness or dizziness or something like that. I'm not sure, that's just what I saw, so I just stuck it in there and didn't feel like messing with it. So over here we do have 5 additional slots, 6 total, so we could put some more patterns in there, but with my resource, you know, where I'm at with my resources, I just don't know if I need this right now. Nether stars is the kind of the big holdup, because it's not really a holdup. I mean, I have 11 skulls, so that's only going to get me what? You need 3 per, so 3 more nether stars. So I'd have to set up a whole farm to get some more wither skulls. But you know, I have the power for this, so let's just throw a bunch of power at it and just poof them out of air. Now the reason I want to get into the nether stars is because we're going to need more nether stars to get into more of the higher tier draconic evolution, which we have. I need to start processing that. Did I have this on autocraft? Yep, I did. Excellent. So I wanted to get that done, and since we also have all these souls coming up, 5 and 4 from our soul farm, we can actually start doing more of the rituals to resurrect the dragon, get more dragon hearts, make more awakened draconium. Awakened draconium? That's not right, is it? Yeah. What am I thinking? Um, so we can do that. So it's just kind of the tier we want to get into, because I do want to have this high tier armor eventually. So that's kind of the direction we're going. But we need a bunch of nether stars. So how many do we have now? 8. I believe I queued up around 10 or so. So I have 8 in there, 4 more. So 8, 4 is 12. Let's queue up another 12, so we'll end up with 24. What do you think? So that's how you queue up, or that's how you request. Send request, and then it comes over here, and it needs to finish this request as 4. It won't stack them, and then it'll send the next request for 12. There are some upgrades over here. I feel like somebody may comment on that. But as you dive into the upgrades, they're not as good as they sound. So like a speed upgrade, it decreases the speed by 25%, but you can also see the failure goes up to 125%. So in my mind, I would rather have a 100% guarantee that if I request one's going to come back out. So I don't want to stack a bunch of speed upgrades in there to kind of lessen that. But there are some fail-safe upgrades, but they increase the time. And power usage, I'm not worried about power use. We have more power than we'll ever use, ever. So I tried with a few combinations. But I just was kind of worried. In fact, we can do it. Let's. In fact, I may have some. Yeah, I was making them. I definitely tried it for sure. Oh, you got them down here. So if you put down a failsafe, so that now goes. See what I mean? That takes more time, but you can see our failures. What's up? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a good configuration. It's decreasing by 6%. I don't know. We'll just leave that. So that's kind of there. Again, documentation's not fabulous, so I can't say exactly what to do to get the perfect ideal setting, but that's what I'm rocking right now. So that's 43 and 44, kind of a nutshell, kind of a quick wrap up. Again, I'm sorry for the few failure videos. The last thing I want to talk about is my birthday's coming up this week, and I had a pretty busy month last night and made a little bit of extra money, and I decided to dump that extra money into a new computer. So today is Labor Day, September 5th. So I dumped about $1,500 into a new computer yesterday. Parts just start arriving tomorrow, so I'm going to put everything together this week and try to maybe have it running by the end of the week. I'll do a build log, probably a video build log, and then I'm going to have a PC part picker build log there. So that's coming up down the future. So I'm going to try to figure out if I'm going to keep recording here or just maybe stop and switch over to the new system. Of course, $1,500, you can kind of see what kind of tier I'm in as far as build quality. I'm hoping that it's going to be just freaking fabulous. I hope. So that's that. So that's kind of my week lined up. I'm going to try to get some more videos cranked out and get a little bit of backlog built up, and we'll go from there. One other thing that I talked about in one of the other videos that I didn't. Let me go over here where I got a little more room. Yeah. One thing I had to address, I don't know if I've already talked about this, is that over here, yep, this is it. Electric meter. So when you have tracks being powered, they power up here, and this track right here does not transmit power. So what I found is that my trains kept getting stuck, and I could not figure out why they were getting stuck, because I just assumed that this transferred power. That makes sense to me, but it doesn't. So when you click on here, you had power, but when you clicked here, no power at all. So after more frustration, more hesitation, and more hair pulling that I'm willing to admit, I had to go back and kind of rethink my system, and you have to use these, whatever they're called. These things, wire support frame. Just put this wire support frame and then right click it with some wire, and that'll hook that up and it'll transfer power. So I had to come back and kind of redo that around the base to keep the train running. Otherwise it stopped. Because the power will transfer all the way through as long as it's one solid piece. But when you start making connections like that, it'll mess up. Yeah, you could probably be turned off. Anywho, alright, I'm done. Enough rambling, done with all that. Probably don't know what we're gonna get into next episode. Kind of think maybe I'm gonna maybe go AFK a little bit, go work on something else, or go do something else and let those nether stars build back up, and then we might dive into a little bit more of Draconic Evolution. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon.